Hey guys, so I'm making a video about my miscarriage that I had um, January of 2013. And if you follow my videos, then you know I have a beautiful baby girl who is almost 8 months old now, and she's doing so good, almost crawling. Um, and I already, for one of my very first videos, I made a video about my miscarriage. But I'm just going to make another one because I really don't have anyone to talk to about it, so I'm just going to kind of get it out on video. I didn't really explain how much, how much I felt about the whole situation in my video. I just kind of explained the situation. So basically, after I had the miscarriage, my husband and I were pregnant 3 months later. And it was not planned, but we, I had started to kind of grieve because it took me a while. I mean, I was kind of in shock about the whole situation. And so I had just started grieving, and I found out that I was pregnant again. And I didn't want to have that type of grief while I was pregnant. You know, the babies can feel everything that you're feeling. And so I had decided, okay, well, I'm going to do it right this time. I did it right the first time, but I just feel like I need to be extra careful. So I had decided, okay, well, I'm going to put it aside. It's going to go to the back of my mind, and I'm not even going to try to think about it. So I had pushed it to the back of my head, and it took a few months for me to completely just stop thinking about it. For the most part, I mean, I would think about it, but I wouldn't let my emotions get involved with it. So then my daughter was born, and maybe like a month later, 2 months later, I started, thinking about it more. I'm like, okay, well, I'm not pregnant now. I need to let myself grieve properly. And it hit me really hard, and I had no one to talk to. Family members and friends would look at me like, why are we talking about this? It happened a year ago. It shouldn't even be a topic of discussion. My husband, he had already grieved, and he's, past that point in the grieving process. So talking to him is kind of like talking to like a brick wall. he never, even when it happened, never really even understood how I felt at the time. But everybody has their own grieving process, and everybody grieves in different ways, so I try to just remember that, because I don't want to get mad at him for not understanding how I feel. I guess it's maybe different for men grieving because of a miscarriage. I don't know, but he definitely grieved differently than I did. So, I just have so many, I don't have any regrets in my life except for one, and that would be when we had the miscarriage. We got to see the baby. I was only 9 weeks along, but when we saw the baby, it was about size of it looked like maybe a large grape, like the size of a large grape. And I was just not in the right mindset. I mean, I was in so much pain. I was exhausted. I went through 9.5 hours of labor, and just to have that happen. So I was exhausted, I was hurt, I was still in shock. I was done with just the whole day. It was 1:30 in the morning. I was ready to go to bed. I was still in pain, and I held the baby in the palm of my hand when he or she first came out. And then I had to, sorry, this is too much information, but I had to throw up, just because just everything that was going on, my body was just going crazy, so I had to throw up, and I didn't want to, be holding the baby while I'm trying to throw up, so I handed the baby over to my husband, and I did my thing, and then I was just done. I was just ready I just wanted to go lay down. I didn't want to do anything else. So, for whatever reason, I felt like I couldn't keep the baby there. I felt like I couldn't keep the baby at all. The baby's dead, so I can't have it in the house. I don't know, for some reason, I felt like, oh, it's dead, so for some reason I felt like the body was just gonna start decomposing or something. I felt like the baby was so tiny and so fragile, I just felt like it was just gonna fall apart. So, we went to the bathroom. My husband kept asking me, what do you want to do? What do you want to do? We need to do something. We need to figure it out. And that was another reason why, I felt like I had to get rid of the baby so fast. He just kept, saying, what do you want to do? What do you want to do? Because, we had the baby in a little cloth. And so we both held the baby in each hand, in our hands together. And, we just placed him or her. This is horrible, and if you judge me, I don't really care. I didn't know what to do, and I just wasn't in the right mindset. But we placed the baby gently. This is painful to say. In the toilet. Sorry. It's one of my biggest regrets. And we flushed the baby down the toilet. I wish with everything that I have that I could just go back to that moment and just spend a little more time with the baby. I'm just so upset with myself. When we found out that the baby had died, that there was no heartbeat, I had it planned that when I finally passed the baby, because it took a few days for my body to pass the baby, but I had decided when I passed the baby, I'm going to go out. I'm going to go out right now. I'm going to buy a flower pot, a large one, soil, and a flower that is beautiful and something that I don't have to, it comes back every year, not something that I have to replant. But, it happened so fast. We went to the ER, and that's when they had told us there was no heartbeat. But we had another appointment 2 days later with our doctor, our actual OB, and to confirm, that the baby actually didn't have a heartbeat, and, everything was what they said it was at the ER. And it was that night after the doctor's appointment that I went into labor. It was 5:45 in the afternoon. I didn't have any time. I wasn't showing any signs of passing the baby anytime soon. And so we were expecting it to be maybe within a week or two. And, I decided, okay, well, tomorrow I'm going to go out and I'm going to, buy everything that I want to buy. And that night after the doctor's appointment, I had my doctor's appointment at 11 o'clock in the morning. And then I dropped my husband off at work. I went home. I started cooking dinner. And that's when everything started. And I just didn't have any time to do any of what I wanted to. But now that I think about it, it's like there was absolutely no rush to do any of what I did. I just wasn't thinking clearly. I could have went out the next day and bought the flower pot or something, and I'm just having a really hard time with it. I just feel like just a horrible person. I loved my little baby so much. Already, that was only 9 weeks, but I was excited. And it's just something that's just really, really getting to me lately. I just can't seem to shake it, and it's just something that, it's like, I've never wanted something so bad. I've never wanted to just go back in time so bad. I feel like it's just the biggest regret of my life. I don't regret anything else, just that. It's just something that's horrible for me. I just feel so horrible about it, and I just want to take it all back, and I just want to hold on a little longer. I just want to hold the baby a little longer. I just feel really stupid about the whole thing, and I had to get it out on camera or something. I don't know. And like I said, I don't have anyone to talk to about it, so I'm kind of alone in the whole situation. Another thing is, when I do try to bring it up to family members, they look at me like I'm crazy when I say that I went into labor. Now, from what I understand, everybody's different with their miscarriages. The longer or the farther along you are, the more intense it is. The earlier you are, the less intense it is. But, I mean, what do you think happens when you have a miscarriage? The baby just disappears? I mean, no. Unless if you have like a D&C or something like that, or a chemical pregnancy, that does not happen. Okay, you got to go through the whole process of getting the baby out. I mean, it's the same process. Your body has to go through the same things. Labor might not be as intense. I don't know, because when I had my daughter Ava, I had to have a C-section because she was breech. So I didn't get to go through labor with her. But hopefully with my next child, I will be able to go through labor. But, it was something that, it was one of the hardest things I've ever had to go through in my life. Not only did I, spend 9.5 hours in labor, but just to hold my dead child at the end. And it's a horrible thing. So when people have actually had the nerve to tell me, yeah, but you don't know what real contractions feel like. For those of you out there who think that if you've had a miscarriage you don't feel real contractions, that's not true at all. I had contractions. I was timing them. They got closer. They got more intense. They came in waves. It's just really, I went through a lot, and for someone to tell me that I didn't when you weren't there and you've never been through it yourself, it's really disrespectful, and it's hurtful to me because it's mainly family members that say these things to me. They look at me and they tell me it's not a big deal, but they've never lost a child. And it's horrible to think that someone actually can think that losing a child is not a big deal. It doesn't matter how far along you were, that was still your baby. And you still got to see your baby on the ultrasound and see its little heartbeat. And then some people like me get to see the baby after we pass it. So, it's just something that just really gets to me when people act this way towards other people. So I just wanted to make this video, just kind of get some things off my chest, and you guys can comment, if you want to, and share your stories if you want to. If you need someone to talk to, we can talk to each other, because there's no one in my family that's willing to help me through this right now anyway, is what it seems. They just look at me like, why are we on this subject again? And that just really just makes me feel stupid. I feel so dumb for feeling this way a year and a half later. I just feel like, why do I feel this way? I mean, I just feel stupid about the whole thing, but I do feel this way, and it's not something that I can ignore because I've tried. So I've just decided to make the video. But like I said, you guys can feel free to comment, and I'll make more videos, happy ones. Sorry, this one's kind of depressing, but I just thought I'd just talk it out to you guys. So, well, I guess I'll see everyone later. Bye.